I have no idea when I said I was going to start the show. Hi, guys. Welcome to Monkey in the Morning. I'm Monk, and it's a day. I think we're on Wednesday now. I have no idea. My sleep pattern's gotten all screwed up again. I bragged too much about how much I've been sleeping lately, and my body was like, yeah, let's fix that shit. So my schedule's all screwed up again, and I'm tired. I'm just tired. And then I turn on my social media apps. That's always a fucking mistake. And I see the city of my birth has once again shown that Democrats are the party of rapists. They just are. They really are. And this goes back a while now to where it's undeniable. We had that. Do you remember the case of the little girl in Ohio who got raped and couldn't get an abortion there? And they're like, see, this is because Roe v. Wade got overturned. But then when you actually delved into the case, you found out the reason that she couldn't get the abortion is because in order to get the medical treatment, they would have had to snitch on the rapist who was an illegal. And they're like, we can't tell you who he is because you might be mad at the illegal for raping a child. That's who these people are. They're willing to protect child rapists because they're illegals. And, oh, no, we might kick them out of the country if you find out what they did. Heaven to Betsy. I'm so annoyed by what I saw. I really am. Let's just jump into it. Let's bring up the video from the San Diego County Board of Commissioners. And listen to what they're allowing in their little place. Thank you, Seal, for becoming a member again. You saw? I saw. I'm not sure what, though. Hi, Nuts. How you doing, sweetie? All right.
I think this policy goes beyond California's existing sanctuary laws by adding an additional.
Okay, we need to talk about California's existing sanctuary laws because they're stupid to begin with. They refuse to let law enforcement actually ban law enforcement from letting, I think the wording is those responsible for deportations or something like that. But it bans local law enforcement from contacting ICE when they get an illegal, except in the case of heinous crimes. So if you got, say, a speeding ticket that you didn't pay and you end up in the county jail for a couple of days and you're an illegal, like, nah, we can't call ICE on you for that. I don't know why. You're an illegal who shouldn't be here in the first place, but that's their law. But there are very specific exceptions to that for things like armed robbery and rape and murder. In those cases, like, nah, and they actually say it's your discretion. We leave it to the discretion of localities to decide whether or not they want to tell ICE. But in this case, San Diego is going to be like, no, you can't even do it if a bunch of heinous shit has happened. Do you remember when that was their thing? No, what we really want is to get rid of the ones who do violent crimes. That was Obama's talking point, remember? That's when they really started down this road of protecting illegals, no matter what kind of horrible shit they've done. But yeah, San Diego's decided to take that a step further.
There's no layer of bureaucracy that hinders local law enforcement from directly notifying ICE about illegal immigrants who are currently in our jails, and they have committed heinous crimes, including child abuse or endangerment, driving under the influence of alcohol or drugs, but only if this conviction is for a felony, possession of an unlawful deadly weapon, gang-related offenses, a crime resulting in death or involving personal affliction or great bodily injury, possession or use of a firearm in the commission of an offense, torture, rape, and kidnapping.
Yep, that's the list of things that San Diego County has decided you cannot talk to ICE about. You can't call them and go, hey, we got this rapist, kidnapping, murderer here, because they are what I don't remember if it's the board themselves who named it or if it's just this guy who called it that, but a super sanctuary city. That's right. If you're an illegal who wants to hang out in the country and rape children, San Diego is where you should go because they're going to protect you. Child rapists. Did you know that even firearm offenses? You know how liberals feel about firearms and how dangerous they are. Hey. Not if they're illegal. Isn't it funny how they want the protections of the United States to cover these people, but not the criminal statutes of the United States to cover these people? The very things that these guys spend so much time yelling and bitching. Republicans just hate women. You're protecting rapists, shitbag. It was just back in September when 158 members of the House, all of them Democrats, voted against a bill that would require the removal of rapists and sexual assaulters and just people who beat women in general as well. That was the Democrats. I don't think we should kick them out of the country for raping people. Do you realize how bad it is in their country? They just came here for a better life. Do you realize how ugly the women are in their own country? They can't rape them. You can't expect them to get it up for that. That's who these fucking people are. They are now openly supporting, protecting rapists and murderers. And they're not even shy about it. And the media is not losing their fucking mind over this. The media is not going, hey, wait a minute, whoa. We said the violent ones have to go. No. Instead, we're going to get stories about, they are demonizing. Look, most illegals don't rape, okay? All right, but we're talking about the ones who do, fucknut. They do exist. They're not a myth. Jeez, how many fucking stories do we have to see about kids getting raped and killed by illegals before we're like, yeah, they're actually doing that. It's not a myth, and maybe we shouldn't allow that. And how does the left respond? Adding more protections to keep the illegal child raping and child murdering assholes in our country. Yay, progress. That's something you should fight for. This little bill, their item, what is it? 29, adopting a board policy on immigration enforcement, enhanced community safety. This is how they keep doing it everywhere they're trying to pass this shit. It's always community safety. We saw the bitch in Chicago who just came out like, we are not going to follow the Trump mass deportation stuff for community safety. So you're going to keep murderers, rapists, felonious assaulters. You're keeping all of these people for community safety, are you? Is this some reverse psychology shit? Because that doesn't make any goddamn sense. We're going to keep the criminals to keep y'all safe. How are these people still getting elected? This passed 3-1 on the San Diego board out of 5 people. I don't know where the other one was. But they passed this to protect people who commit horrible, violent crimes. And I'm just going to start calling the Democrats the party of rapists because that's what they are. They are the party of rapists. Tell me a time when they're like, hey, that illegal raped somebody. We should kick him out. I'm waiting. I'll wait. I'm happy to hear of those things because it would at least give me a little bit of faith in humanity, or at least faith in Democrats. These people are protecting rapists. And these are the same people who tell you that Republicans don't care about your daughter because they don't want her to get an abortion. But hey, I support abortion, and child rapists is totally the way to go, Democrats. That's how you really show that you care about kids. That when the illegal rapes them, you will let them have an abortion, you fucking horrible pieces of shit. Oh, how is this a thing? How is this something that happened from elected leaders? How? And to have the fucking balls, enhance community safety. by keeping rapists, murderers, drunk drivers, felonious assaulters. What else was in there? Kidnappers. Keep them in the community. That's how you enhance the community safety. So, hey, at least they're not raping other communities because they're here, I guess, is the best you could go with that. It's so fucking insane, man. And there's tons of people who are on board with this kind of shit. Tons of people who think this makes sense. And how do we know that? Because they keep electing these fucking assholes who are for this shit. I do wonder how many of those 158 Democrats got reelected to Congress. I should look that up because I'm betting it's all of them. 158 of them voted against removing illegals who rape and sexually assault. They're like, hey, you're mean. You're trying to make everybody think illegals are rapists. No. But there are some who are, and can't we at least agree that raping is wrong? That we shouldn't be importing rapists? I promise you it's not one of those jobs Americans just don't want to do. Well, I mean, I guess it is because we don't want rape, but it's not one we need done. There's no shortage of degenerates here in America. We don't need to import them. Monkey looking things up. I do it all the time. I look up a lot of shit. I spend a lot of time reading. Yeah. Illegals apparently make us safer. I don't understand how that works, but the illegal rapists make us safer. Am I allowed to call them illegal if they're rapists? Am I allowed to even call them rapists because I'm defining them by their crime like I do when I say illegals? I'm very curious on how all that wording works. I'm not down on my communist talking points, so I'd have to look that up too. It's just amazing to me that these people aren't even hiding it, man. They're not even hiding it. Are reps allowed to serve in Cali? Are you talking about illegals? I'm not. What do you mean by rep? In California, there are places where they can vote. It's mostly in school board elections and local municipality elections. But yeah, illegals have committed no crimes. In the name, dumbass. Exactly. Conservatives. Are Republicans allowed to serve? Is what you were asking. I got you. Allowed to? Yeah. And this is one of the. I don't know if she's a Republican or not, but the sheriff of San Diego County came out and said, "Yeah, I'm not going by that. Fuck that. They cannot tell me when I can. I am in control of my jails. I will do what I want, and I will continue to report these people to ICE." So good on her for that. I think reading the California law, she's probably going to lose if it goes to court. Bad joke. Sorry. No, you're fine. The one who voted against this in San Diego, was a Republican, believe it or not. That's right. All of the Democrats voted to protect rapists, and then they're going to get mad when I call them party of rape. Watch. Metal Minister, thank you for the donation. Monk looking things up. Wouldn't you have to be able to see first? I can see, just not very well, and it does take me longer now. I had to read a court case today. Well, I didn't have to. I was doing it because I was doing research, and it took me way longer to read it. I am not looking forward to the end of this next Supreme Court session when I have to read those. I'm gonna have to get a reader, something that reads it to me, because fuck. Anyway, put on your glasses. All right, I'm just gonna say this for the last time. Stop telling me to put on glasses. It's not an issue with like not being able. I have blind spots in my eyes. Glasses will only make the blind spot more noticeable. Oh fuck. Anyway, let's move along from the. Yeah, they're just the party of rapists. They're openly supporting rapists now and like protecting them. Not just supporting, protecting rapists. What the actual fuck? How do you get to that point in your life? How do you get to the point where you're like, you know, I think rape is bad, but getting rid of rapists is worse? How do you get to that point? Microfish monkey. I remember microfish. I feel like that was time wasted when I was a kid when they taught us how to use that shit because it's all on the internet now. Okay. What else do I have to talk about? I was so pissed off at this story because there's no other way to say it other than you are protecting the worst of the worst. And you're doing it on some nonsense, politicized bullshit of they're being mean to illegals. They shouldn't be here anyway. Check your Streamlabs. Why didn't I get a notification? Why, oh, why is my Streamlabs a pain in my butt sometimes? I like to sing. You know, I want to say how thankful I am for Google. I've had a word stuck in my head for like almost a month because I knew it was in a song. Let me get this first. Keldrick, thank you. Keldrick, cap lock, dude. The only time Democrats have ever wanted to deport someone for rape is when they demand the deportation of Trump's children who are American citizens because the Dems desperately want to believe that he raped someone he couldn't have possibly raped. True. Thank you for the donation, my friend. Sorry I missed that when it came through because I don't remember getting a notification. Anyway, what was I talking about? I was watching a true crime podcast. I think it was a podcast. Anyway, they mentioned the Florida City Apalachicola. It's this, what do they call it? The Forgotten City or something like that. But there was some murder there that was big, and it's on a lot of, I think I watched it on 48 Hours. But there's a lot of different podcasts who've covered it. And I'd heard that term before, Apalachicola. I'm like, it's in a song. What fucking song is that? And I just kept putting it out of my mind going, eventually I'll hear it again and it wouldn't. And for some reason tonight when I woke up, the very first thing my mind said was, why do we know this place? And so I had to look it up. And I'm imagining going back to when I was young, back when microfish was a thing, and trying to figure that out. It's from the song, what is it? A Southern Voice by Tim McGraw. And it would have taken me forever to find that because I rarely listen to that song. It pops up in my, when I'm just listening to music in general, but it pops up like once every 6 months. And I don't know the words enough to just be singing around the house kind of thing. But Google actually did me a solid there. And I'm very thankful that I live in the time that I do, because that was driving me fucking crazy. Did you guys ever get something like that? That just, it's one goddamn word. And I knew I'd heard it in a song. And I even knew it said to Apalachicola. And I could not remember why. It was making me insane. That's what it's like in my head, you guys. All right. What else do we have going on? Don't care. Already did it. What was this one? Oh, let's talk about Nancy Mace. You guys know who Nancy Mace is, right? Nancy Mace was assaulted today in the Capitol. I haven't gotten a very good breakdown of what happened. What we do know, at least according to her, is that her arm got injured. And we do know somebody got arrested for it. Let's bring old Nancy on the screen. I want the CNN article. I didn't retweet it. I just took a clip of it. I guess we can just bring their clip up on my screen. So CNN reports it this way. First, it says that she claims she was assaulted. That's how they say it. And then it goes into this. Asked about Mace's claim, Capitol Police said they received a report just after 6 p.m. from a member of Congress's office of an incident in the Rayburn office building. Officers and agents with the threat assessment section tracked down and arrested a suspect, charging them with assaulting a government official. So the Capitol Police confirmed her story, or at least to the point that they arrested somebody for it. But you notice how long it took CNN to say that? Anyway, they go on to say CNN has reached out to Mace's office for additional details. Last month, the South Carolina Republican made headlines when she introduced a resolution to ban transgender women from using women's restrooms at the Capitol and filed broader legislation that would apply to every federal building and federally funded school. The move followed the election of Democrat Representative-elect Sarah McBride of Delaware, who will be the first out transgender person to serve in Congress. I do love that part. The first out transgender. Are they suggesting somebody else in Congress is transgender? And we just don't know it? Because if they are, I have a few guesses. I really do. And I think a lot of you who thirst after AOC would be shocked. But they go on to say, in the wake of the Supreme Court overturning Roe v. Wade in 2022 and her party's efforts to hold on to women votes, Mace has often said she's looking for ways to show that the GOP is pro-woman. And that's where the article ends. So a member of Congress is assaulted, allegedly. A man is arrested for assaulting her, allegedly. And their takeaway from it is, she pushed bathroom pills. Look, there's a jump to be made there. You can guess that this was probably some trans activist who totally loves women, so they're going to beat on one. But then they follow that up with she says she's pro-woman. Forget that the paragraph before the she says she's pro-woman thing is basically saying Nancy Mace was wearing a transgender skirt that was too low, so she deserved it. But then they follow it up with her saying she says she's pro-woman as she tries to keep men out of women's spaces. This is the most insane reporting that I've seen on an event like this. If this had happened, do you remember the hubbub over Alex Stein just talking about how cute he thought AOC's ass was? The press lost their fucking mind. Can't believe it. Look what this horrible degenerate did. He put her in so much danger. I am just with a camera there going, haha, you got a nice butt. Which, by the way, she doesn't. Alex, you need glasses more than I did. But they lose their fucking mind. Ilhan Omar got a strongly worded letter. And they're like, oh my God, do you believe the hate that the GOP is sending at this woman? Nancy Mace got fucking assaulted. She got assaulted. And they're like, I can kind of see why. I get it. For fuck's sake, man. She claims she's for that pro-woman stuff that we're totally in favor for. By the way, we're protecting rapists. I'm not shocked. I wish I could be at this point. I really do wish I could be in any way surprised by the way the press. I knew what I was going to read before I read this article because I saw that she'd been assaulted. I immediately went to find a CNN article. And sure enough, there. Sorry, my internet decided to take a shit there for a second. There's no outrage here. There's no, hey, the Democrats are inciting violence against women in Congress. There's none of that shit. Instead, what we're treated to is basically, she kind of deserved it, you guys. Now, I will grant them they didn't come out as explicitly as I expected them to. I guess that would be over on MSNBC. But why is our press like this, and why are they allowed to get away with it? Speaking of our press, I want to address a comment I got yesterday. Because yesterday we talked about that shooter, Luigi. Dude, you're not even Mario. You're fucking Luigi. Anyway, and somebody said, sorry, Monk, but I agree with her even if she said it wrong, talking about Miss Taylor Lorenz being joyful and celebratory about the murder of a man. And They said something in this comment that really pissed me off. And not for normal reasons. I mean, it pissed me off for normal reasons, but you guys watch this show, right? You guys have heard me rail against our media and the propaganda and pointing out various different things that they've lied to you about for almost a decade. And what was said to me was, both sides agree that this is a problem. Both sides, if you ask right now, believe global warming is a problem. If you go back to 2020, both sides agreed that we needed to social distance and wear masks. Were there outliers? Sure. Was it a major push? No. A lot of people these days are claiming that they were very vocally against this when they weren't. They're just saying it to be on the right side now. But the truth of the matter is, when it comes to health insurance companies and your hatred for them, it's part of the propaganda. Saying it never happens. They got turned down for life-saving medicine. I'm not saying it never happens, but how often does it really? Tens of thousands. You'd think you'd be able to point to some cases, especially since this has been shit that they've been saying literally for a decade, more than a decade. This shit goes all the way back to before Obamacare was passed. This shit goes back to Hillary Clinton in 92. No, it happens all the time. Getting turned down for medical care by your insurance company is the leading cause of death in America. No, it's not. You're being lied to. Yes, it does happen. And yes, sometimes they make bad decisions about care that you should be able to get based on the policy you have. And sometimes you have a bad policy because you cheaped out. Sometimes you have a policy that, no, that doesn't fucking cover. And they've made the villain the insurance companies, when the insurance companies are hamstrung by state and federal regulations. It is your goddamn lawmakers who are causing this. I actually had somebody today tell me that getting denial of service from your insurance company has nothing to do with ACA. Like the thing that literally tells insurance companies what they have to cover has nothing to do with claims being denied. Are you fucking retarded? They couldn't deny the claim if they weren't allowed to, you reject. It's literally in the fucking laws. The insurance companies, yes, they're out there to try to make money. But if you look it up, they actually can't make that much money legally. All they can do is try to nickel and dime it as best they can under the laws that they are forced to abide by. Stop fucking talking out of your ass when you don't know what the fuck you're talking about how insurance works. As somebody who's been inside the insurance industry, trust me, it's not what they're telling you on the fucking... No, don't trust me. Go look it the fuck up. But I'm telling you, it is not what they're telling you on the news. I saw somebody they got an algorithm about whether or not you can get coverage, and that was supposed to be a horrible thing. You know why they do that? Because it becomes black and white at that point and not a matter of a person making that decision. This is covered, this is not. If you want it to be as black and white as possible, which is what you should considering it's a contract, then an algorithm in that case actually makes fucking sense. But no, that's taking the people out of it. Wording? What do you guys want other than just give me everything? It doesn't matter what insurance I bought. It should cover this thing. Never trust monkey. Got it. You shouldn't trust me. You absolutely should double check what I tell you. I promise you in 99.999% of the time it's going to be right, but never just trust me. I don't want you to trust anyone. I want you to verify. But it is amazing to me that some of you have been watching this shit for years and years and years, still believe the corporate media bullshit fed to you by Democrats in power that are literally just getting their talking points from the DNC. And that you're just like, no, I saw it on the news. It must be true. And this is why I tell you guys that the mainstream media still controls everything. They still control the language. They still control the narrative. And the narrative right now is that, yes, health insurance agent. They set the narrative for why this guy murdered the CEO of this company. He must have got turned down for coverage. He didn't even have their coverage. He had Blue Cross Blue Shield, for fuck's sake. Oh, but that narrative got set and everybody's mad about it. So what? What the fuck does that mean that everybody's on the same page? Lots of fucking retards agree with each other. I put no stock in everybody disagrees with you. Yeah, a lot of times people are fucking wrong. And that there's a bunch of morons doesn't make it any less moronic. I saw Constantine from Trigonometry today describe his rants that he went on. He's like, I did some rants today on this thing and I went and watched them. And they're good, but I'm like, that's not ranting. That's not ranting. That's casual conversation, dude. That is just casual fucking conversation. I've labeled it metric ranting because he's English. Yeah, I'm just. How many times do you guys have to be lied to? How many times do you have to be lied to before you start questioning shit? I really don't understand. Have you seen Saw 6, Monkey? That anti-insurance company sentiment runs deep. It really does. I haven't seen it, but this is one of those things. It's very much like the abortion is a human right. It has just been repeated so much. And remember, they were fixing it. They fixed it back in 2010. That's what we were told. That's why we needed Obamacare. We're fixing it. The insurance agencies keep fucking you over. We're going to take care of that shit because we're going to cover pre-existing conditions. Yeah, well then why 14 years later are you guys out there cheering on this guy getting murdered? Because, oh my God, insurance sucks. Hey, congratulations on being a sheep repeating the shit you heard on TV. Yay, take a bow and get fucked. Anyway, I did not even mean to go off on that rant. I'm just so sick of this shit. I'm so sick of all the bullshit that I'm seeing online and elsewhere, by the way. I've seen this in real life. But of people who have no goddamn idea what they're talking about. The people who say, he murdered people. He murdered people. No, he didn't. Do you just not know what the term murder means? He turned down coverage and they died. Were they covered by it? Was he wrong in turning down the coverage? Because I've yet to see that. For all this shit about, oh, they denied the claim. Was it covered? Because a lot of times claims get denied because they should be. Just because you put in a claim for something doesn't mean it was fucking covered. Check your fucking insurance policies. Stop just going with, oh, it's the cheapest option. And look, a lot of times the cheapest option will be better than no option at all. I'll give you that. But just because you're paying a lot for something doesn't mean it covers everything. Read, for God's sakes. Just read. He's Russian, not English. Yeah, but he spent most of his life in England, hasn't he? I mean, he's even got like the little cockneyed accent. Sorry, it's the lesbian-looking one that's got the more cockney accent. He's got that. What's the uppity Brits called? I forget. Anyway, and I do like Constantine, I really do, but I was ranting. Stop it. Stop playing. Stay in your lane, dude. This one's just fun because Adam Schiff, this little piece of shit, I cannot believe this penis with eyeballs is still a thing, and that he managed to oust a black woman to become a senator in California, which is funny as shit to me. So Dianne Feinstein dies, and they put in an interim replacement who I forget her name, but she is a black woman. And by all rights, by every time we have a vote, and I'm not saying that she's entitled to it, but just with the way things go, she should have been the one running for Senate and winning and becoming the next senator for California. But Adam Schiff was like, I want it. So she announces very early on, okay, I won't run. So this white man pushed out a black woman for this seat to replace a white woman. Okay, why not? Because they're totally about diversity and white men stepping aside so that minorities and women can. I love that we have to say minorities and women because we all recognize women aren't minority, but minorities and women can get ahead. The white man got to step aside. And old Dick Nose here is like, nuh-uh, in my turn, y'all. I fucking love it. But anyway, he was in front of cameras today because he loves to be in front of a camera. And that's what the third thing is going to be here. But they're talking about Donald Trump suggesting he might go after people criminally.
On the day Donald Trump leaves office, the Justice Department may indict him.
Very strongly in favor of indicting the president when he is out of office.
This is at the time a sitting member of Congress of the House of Representatives. He's still a member of the House of Representatives. He'll become a senator when they're all sworn in January. But this a politician, an elected leader in the House of Representatives, calling for I support, he said in that second clip, I support arresting Donald Trump. So he said indicting, which indicting would lead to an arrest. But here he is today.
I think the incoming president should be threatening his political opponents with jail time. That's not the kind of talk we should hear from a president in a democracy.
Now, he does say you shouldn't hear it from a president in a democracy. I guess that's the kind of stuff only a Congress member should say. Oh, fuck. And did you catch what he did there at the end? In a democracy. It's not the kind of stuff that they should do in a democracy. You mean like you guys were doing? And like you guys actually did. You guys actually went after Trump. The special prosecutor had to drop his cases. And not because he didn't want to do it, but because Trump's the president and there's a thing right now. I'm not real fond of the notion that we can't arrest a president, a sitting president, because I don't think they should be above us in any way. I get why we don't do it, though, because it would just be too easy for shitbags like this motherfucker to be like, go ahead and arrest him. But that's why the cases from Adam Smith got dropped. It's because Trump got elected. They were still going to pursue this shit. And if Donald Trump had lost, they would have still pursued it. I don't think that's the kind of rhetoric. These are people who ran on, he's a felon. I don't think they should do that. Get fucked. Adam, you are a horrible, horrible person. And I am rooting for his downfall. I can't wait for it. Something is going to pop up because this guy is dirty as shit. He is dirty as shit. And we know that from the Vindman bullshit. Remember that? Where he illegally helped the whistleblower lie on a federal form and nobody got in trouble for it. Y'all remember that, right? Did you work with any member of Congress? We're just going to leave that one blank. Nobody will look. That all came about from Adam Schiff. Adam Schiff is a dirty, dirty piece of shit. And I cannot wait for his downfall. What else do we have going on here? Oh, since so many folks really love this guy, I figure we should put him on the screen every day. Luigi was taken to the court today. We'll see him emerge from this vehicle in his orange jumpsuit. And I just want to play this because it is amazing how many people I've seen embrace the, oh my God, his back hurt bullshit. I don't want to hear that shit. There's a lot of you who have back pain who are on that same page. You're like, I don't want to hear this bullshit. We've lived with it. We've lived with the issues that come with it for some of you decades. I'm coming up on my first full decade. I've never thought about killing anybody because my back hurt. Not the surgeons, not the neurologists that I've worked with, not the people who made gabapentin, which turned me into kind of a zombie for a while. No, none of that shit. But apparently I had a free pass to go murder folks, and I just missed my chance. I mean, I am still in back pain, so I guess if I go out there and just randomly murder some folks, I'll become the sexiest guy on the internet. That's how that works, right? I'm so disgusted at people for backing this guy. I cannot tell you how disgusted I am by people backing this guy. Evolved Potato, thank you. Plus, there's a thing with that special prosecutor not legally being a special prosecutor since they didn't follow the law with appointing him. Yeah, not only was he not appointed properly, there was no money appropriated for a special prosecutor, so he was paid illegally as well. All right.
Down.
Oh my God! That's completely out of touch and an insult to the intelligence of the American people and the lived experience.
Some about an insult to the American public. I don't know. But did you see him fighting back against those police officers? Did you see him double over in pain from his back with him pushing his upper body against them? Neither did I. I know you guys just don't understand. He had back pain. He has plates in his back. Yeah. I've heard this guy's family is worth millions made off of nursing homes. He is a very rich kid. He went to a private school with a $40,000 tuition from the time he was in 6th grade through 12th grade. And then he went to University of Pennsylvania to get his master's degree. The little fucker, he's a rich kid. He's another fucking rich kid who got told no to something. And in this case, we don't even know what he's told no to. I'm not even saying he's told no. I'm saying he went to 8 years of indoctrination at a fucking Ivy League school and he came out a murderer. He's a fucking commie. And he murdered somebody for... He did it because he probably got denied something. He didn't even have that fucking insurance, you assholes. Oh, why are you trying to make him a hero? But look at how bad his back hurt in that. Whew, doggy. It's amazing. It is amazing. I kind of want to watch that John Stossel thing, but I don't know if he hits people with copyright. Fuck it. We got hit last night. I told you guys we'd get hit for that kitten video we watched, and sure enough, it wasn't an hour after the show was over. I got a message from YouTube. You can't monetize this because these people now own it. There's certain ones of those that I can just tell immediately because I've been through this for a while now. They're like, yep, that one's gonna hit us. Dark Resurrect, thank you for that feminist $12. All I'm going to say is that the left really does want to open this. The left really doesn't want to open this door. Well, here's my problem with it. If you're talking especially about the shooter, it's not just the left. The person who left me that comment is absolutely right. I've seen a ton of people on the right being like, yeah, I get it. Fuck you. I get it. Why? Because the news told you to? Good job. Go ahead and tell me again how you don't believe in the mainstream media as you repeat their fucking bullshit. God. Anyway, but he's not wrong that people on left and right do agree. It's just he was healed. Hallelujah. Yeah. That's how you heal yourself. Become a murderer. And how cowardly too. He shot the man in the back. He looks like he smells like trash. Somebody pointed out, oh God, who'd they say? Richard Ramirez, that he has very Richard Ramirez vibes. And I'm glad the person said that because when I saw this guy's picture and everybody like, he's so normal looking, I'm like, no, there's something off. And it is. It's because he looks like Richard Ramirez. He murdered a whole bunch of women in California, raped and murdered them. The Night Stalker, that was his nickname. Look up Richard Ramirez and look up that guy and tell me they don't look alike. Anyway, let's see if John Stossel's got this. I don't want to watch it on Twitter, which is where I have the video pulled up. Oh, good. He has it on YouTube. And it's only because Twitter's their video kind of sucks. But excuse me. This is the video is called Why Government Can't Build Broadband or Charging Stations or Anything. Because government doesn't build. All they do is destroy. And that's what they're for. They're for defense. But he says some stuff in here I didn't know.
From both parties visibly happy to announce agreements.
3 years ago, Republicans and Democrats grabbed your money, promising
to build thousands of miles of fiber optic cable
that would provide high-speed internet to all of America.
$65 billion broadband push.
3 years later, no one's been connected.
Not a single one has been connected so far. And I've always wondered why, because I've never seen why they haven't did it. I just assumed it was our normal government shit of funneling money to their friends, because that does happen quite a bit. Monk, how's that high-speed internet? Well, actually, Starlink has been doing very, very well, especially with the leaves all gone from the trees. I'm going to have to save up money and cut down trees this year, unfortunately, I think, so I can keep streaming during the summer. And I'm all for cutting down the trees. That's not the part that I have a problem with. It's the money. You know how much it costs to get trees cut down? Fuck. And I understand it. It's a dangerous business, and I wouldn't want to do it. But god damn, man. Anyway, there should be 100% accounting of every penny. Well, here's the thing, Faithless. We don't even know how much of this has been spent so far. About $3,000 a tree. Eagle, it depends on where the tree is, how big around, especially the tree is, how tall the tree is. Because we've gotten it anywhere from, I think the most we paid for a tree to come down was $1,200, but the cheapest was like $400 because it was one way in the back and all we wanted it was fell. We didn't need it, the tree taken away or anything. But anyway.
Not a single project is underway. Why? Because governments aren't good at building anything. As Milton.
Now, I will disagree. I mean, they're not good at it, but it kind of gives the impression that they can't be. They could be. But they're not, because they don't have to be. And this is why, the privatization argument always comes up, is because government, one, you have all the regulators, you have the people who want their pet projects, the people who want their pet interests. All of that has to be accounted for, instead of a businessman who's like, I want to get this done so we can make money. They're two entirely different things.
Friedman put it.
Very few people spend other people's money as carefully as they spend their own.
True. This is one of the problems that they found with public housing, is that the people who lived in public housing, it's not theirs. They're not required to have any kind of stake in it. So they don't give a shit about it. And it turns to shit really fast. It's not that the idea of public housing is a bad idea, cheap housing for people who need it. It's that they have no skin in that game, so they don't care. And it's just human nature. This is mine. I'm going to take very good care of it. This is yours. You shouldn't have let me take care of it because I don't care. And no, hashtag not all, blah, blah, blah. But seriously, we always, especially if it's your own money at stake, we put way more thought into that than we do somebody else's. Anyway, and when you're doing this on the scale of the government, you're talking trillions of dollars, they don't give a fuck.
Politicians spending other people's money wasted it. Private companies laid miles of cable, while government officials obsessed about giving broadband to the right people.
Boys, girls, people of color, people living in rural America.
Aging individuals, prisoners, LGBTQ persons. Any company that wants funds to build broadband has to hire certain people.
This is the part I didn't know, is that as part of the act to, get internet to people like me. The lady that he showed saying, getting it to poor people and people of color and people who live in, I don't really care about that part, because frankly, people of color have access to, generally speaking, have better access to high-speed internet than I do, because they tend to live in cities and I live in the middle of fucking nowhere. So yeah, it's political speak, but the part I do care about is this, because what he just read off, for those of you listening along, are the hiring preferences. That you have to have old people, prisoners, LGBT, racial, religious and ethnic minorities, indigenous and Native American persons, which really should have been covered in the first one, people otherwise adversely affected by persistent poverty or inequality. This is who you have to hire. You have to make this your hiring standard in order to get the money to lay the cable. Why is that even a part of it? Shouldn't it be whoever can do it best, whoever can get it done the fastest, some other standard that actually has to do with getting it done, rather than, hey, get that old man in here to lay cable? What the fuck? Especially when you're talking about this, because that's the only way to do it, is you have to actually get out there and lay these cables. And you're not going to get a 75-year-old like, hey, this pensioner here, and he needs a job, and what we need is cable laid. Grab that jackhammer, Grandpa. Let's shake the false teeth right the fuck out of your head so that Monkey can have a high-speed internet. Jeez, who thinks of this shit? And aging individuals, for the record, that terminology is so goddamn stupid. You know, the only people who aren't aging? The dead ones. And even then, technically, they're still aging. They're just not doing it alive. I mean, they would be 150 years old if they were still alive. Everybody alive is aging. There are no Benjamin Buttons out there. And even he was aging in reverse. Fuck. Aging individuals. That is such euphemistic bullshit language. You mean old people? Just say old people. And give an actual time or an age. Because I feel like an old person and I'm almost 50. Compared to my grandfather, I'm not that old. Again, he stopped aging though. Get an old gay American Indian that just got out of prison. Yes. That's who should be laying the pipe. Ah, fuck. This is what's wrong with our government, man. Look, our government shouldn't be really spending the money that way anyway. But as somebody who would have benefited from it, woohoo! In a perfect world, they wouldn't be spending it anyway. But if they're going to, this is the kind of reason that we can't have nice things. I do not care if the person who brings high-speed internet to my house is old, has been in jail, has a wiener and sucks one, is a member of the satanic church, dances around in the woods banging a drum, or is otherwise affected by persistent poverty. I just want it to work. But our government's like, no, you have to do it this way. Get fucked. This is why our government sucks. It's because, again, this goes to the pet projects part and the pet causes. If this was just, hey, companies that are willing to take high-speed internet to where Monkey lives, we will pay for the laying of the line. Cool. I mean, still not cool, because that's not your guys' money. Shouldn't be spent on that. But fine. That at least makes sense, that you're going to get something done. And then they have to put all of this other shit. Once again, I go back to the Bradley fighting vehicle and the HBO movie movie that was done on it, and it is amazing how this is supposed to just be a troop transport, and everybody decided to get their pet project thing done on it, and it ended up causing this thing to be a bloated mess. The original vehicles weren't even any good, and all they needed was just a troop transport. And if they'd have left it at that, it'd have been done quickly, and they'd have had them. They're like, no, it needs a 50 millimeter cannon on top. This is what happens in government. And again, it is because it's not other people's, or it's other people's money. It's other people's money. Too bad the HBO movie was a complete lie. The HBO movie was done as a parody of what actually happened. All right, moving along. And if you don't think that's actually what happened, you should really pay attention to what happened with the Bradley. Amy Klobuchar came out and demanded that FBI Director Christopher Wray be allowed to serve out his 10-year term, because that's what they're elected to, 10-year terms. Kind of. The FBI director is implemented for up to a 10-year term. He still serves at the discretion of the President of the United States. If they're doing a good job, it saves the president from having to nominate somebody every 4 years when a new person comes in, like happens with most cabinet posts. But in this case, Christopher Wray needs to go. He is bad at his job. He's bad at his job, and no, he shouldn't just get to stay because he can stay for 10 years. This isn't like the presidency where the president is hired for 4 years. And then at the end of that 4 years, he might be hired for another 4, and then it's over. No. This is, all right, you have this job. It's basically the justices, the judges kind of thing, where you have this job in good behavior. And if the president decides that your behavior is not what he wants, then he can remove you. Yes, he serves at the pleasure of the president. That is, it's just funny to me that she's out there doing this, and that there's some people that don't understand how it works. Yes, it is a 10-year term if the president doesn't replace him. Like, no, he should get to serve it. Well, why? Based on what? Is it just because it's a 10-year term, or can you point to something where he's actually done something well? And I got to be honest with you. I think one of the reasons Amy wants Wray to stay there is there's a whole bunch of shit that's about to come out. Whether you like Trump's picks or not, especially if Cash gets to get in there and if Pete Hegseth gets to get in there, there's a lot of stuff that the administration has either been denying or not talking about that we're finally going to get to see, that they're going to be like, oh, hell no. And I think a lot of people, especially, fuck it, I'll just say it, Democrats in Congress, who know about a bunch of bad shit that's going on, and they don't want it exposed. And how do you keep it from getting exposed? Well, you keep the same guy who's been in charge in there. Kash Patel getting into the FBI might be Trump's greatest coup. I know they hate that word. But if he can get him in there and he gets his hands on all of the January 6th stuff, we get to can you imagine Kash Patel having access to how many FBI agents were in the crowd on January 6th? You think that's something that's going to stay hidden? Speaking of staying hidden, I don't have it pulled up, so this is going to be very vague. But apparently the ethics committee, they were going to be discussing the Matt Gaetz report that they had been working on. Remember, Matt Gaetz gets under FBI investigation because a criminal pedophile accused him of some shit that there's no proof of. Supposedly sleeping with a 17-year-old girl, which, look, I don't know if he did it or not. I honestly don't, but there's no proof of it other than the girl saying it, but the girl also saying that, she had fake IDs and everything and lied about her age. Which I do believe that there does come a point where if a girl was lying to you and she's got what looks like a state issued ID, you've done your due diligence. You should feel dirty for it, but I'm not sure that that's criminal at that point, even though the law says it is. What are you supposed to do? Like, no, I need your birth certificate and a video of the birth dated and showing the current newspaper that day. But anyway, I digress. There was no evidence, and the FBI, the Justice Department, drops the case. And all of it actually stems from a extortion case that somebody was trying to pull against Matt Gaetz's dad. That's where that all comes from. But the DOJ looks at it and goes, nah, bruh. But in Congress, legality doesn't matter, so they opened an ethics investigation into Gaetz. And when Gaetz quit Congress, that investigation gets immediately shut down. That's how the ethics department works in Congress. But there were people like, we should still get to see this report, because at the time, Matt Gaetz was nominated to run what? I forget, Justice or wherever they were going to put Matt Gaetz. And when he quit Congress, that shut down the investigation. And the Democrats were like, no, we still need to embarrass him. Well, the ranking Democrat on the House Ethic Committee leaked it. She leaked parts of the report to the press. And how do we know this? Well, apparently she admitted it. Apparently she admitted that she leaked this to the press, and then she refused to show up to the meeting. So there was an acting ranking Democrat on the committee the last time they met. And her spokesperson came out and said she didn't not show up because of leaking this stuff. She didn't show up because she didn't see a reason to, since nothing was going to be done. Now, nothing can happen to this woman. Even if she stayed in Congress, nothing would happen to her. But her term is up at the end of this year. I don't know if she quit or if she lost her seat. I haven't looked into her and frankly don't care about her that much. But nothing's going to come of this. This is a woman who leaked what's supposed to be classified documents inside the Senate. And look, I'm all for releasing all that shit. I think the ethics committee meets in secret, and I don't think that should happen. I think there should be cameras on congressmen 24/7. I think all of their communications should be public. I think that when they send a tweet, we should all be able to read it immediately, or a text. But these are their rules that they use to protect themselves. And this bitch blatantly defied it and is going to get away with it. Nothing's going to happen because they don't want anything to happen, because then they're open to it the next time they do it. It is amazing how many leaks there are in Washington. Everybody hates leakers, but they all fucking do it. And none of them want to be subject to that, because they might want to leak something down the road. Let them have privacy to use the bathroom. No, I want maybe not cameras in there, but I certainly still want audio in there, because I don't want them meeting in the toilet to have their dirty little conversations. Yeah, that means we're going to have to hear Nadler take a dump, but I think it's worth it for transparency. Just don't listen when Nadler's taking a dump. That's all. All right, guys, we are an hour in, and I am done with my news for the day. I'm sorry. I'm just going to wrap this one up. I'm in so much pain right now. I'm in enough pain to shoot. No, can't make that joke. But yeah, we're going to wrap this one up. Thank you for coming and hanging out. Thank you so much for the donations and just being you. You guys are awesome, and I love you for it. Can Nadler physically take a dump? Isn't he pure shit? It's just pieces of him dropping off, but technically, yeah. Guys, thanks for hanging out. I love you. We'll see you next time. Oh, real quick. Show update. There will not be a show this Saturday. It's one of the rare instances I know when I'm having a night off. So no show Saturday night, guys. I love you. Take care of yourselves, and we'll see you next time. Oh, shit. This is where I'm supposed to sing a song so that I can end my show. Apparently, I'm not in charge of how that goes anymore because I'm a dummy. Bye, guys.